Let's do a quick recap and market overview of what we've seen the past few weeks and also what you can probably expect in the next coming months. Now, April is typically bullish for equities. As you may remember, last year was not bullish at all, but we'll discuss ES, we'll discuss SPX, and we'll discuss a few individual names that we've added to this week's watch list. So if you guys take a look at the screen here, in terms of ES, last Friday night, I gave you guys a very bullish thesis for the week. And here's the chart. I had pointed out that we have a potential inverted head and shoulders forming here. What's key to note was that the fibs on both the long and short sides were well respected throughout the entire range bound price action that we've seen since the end of February. And to add to that, those fibs ended up forming the shoulders and the neckline. We also had a bull flag breakout into last Friday's close. And I told you guys, I feel very bullish. And the last time I felt this bullish was that YouTube video that I did in January and at the end of December. I haven't felt that bullish since. We've pretty much been shorting the market for the past month and a half or so until recently. So this week we've seen over 100-point breakout since I gave that analysis on Friday. We've broken out of the neckline. We've broken through this heavy resistance zone right here that you'll see, this green box. And we are now trading right back into this range from early February. Now, this range is going to be key to break. I do expect some range-bound action coming into this coming week, and especially being into short week, I don't expect any crazy directional moves. But I do believe if we at least retest this range here, maybe even back to 4,100 or lower, as long as we hold this neckline here, we should be able to see higher the next month or so. Now with SPX, you got to admit, first half of the week was pretty boring for options trading. Nothing was moving. It was super choppy. And it was unfortunate that we had a lot of the moves that I was personally looking for happen overnight. So we weren't really able to capitalize on the moves during the actual session. We gapped up 3 days in a row. And all of those moves that I was looking for upside breakouts happened overnight. So it was just a little bit unfortunate in regards to that. But relatively choppy week in terms of options action. Even though we were getting directional days, the option premiums were not moving in favor of those moves. And I would say we waited pretty patiently throughout the week until Thursday. And with Thursday, we caught puts. This was a pretty straightforward trade, honestly. We caught puts 3 times before we capitalized on that last one. I think the first 2 put entries were 36% and 50-something%. Until our final one, we ended up holding all the way down to our 40.37 level for 177%. We caught this entire move. And that was a very high conviction day for me on the short side. So we were able to capitalize on that. And then by then, we pretty much called it a day. Friday, we didn't even trade SPX. I didn't bother because I had so many other individual names that I was looking at that I had high conviction on. So one of them was Coin. We took Coin for over 100%. And we also entered May calls. I feel very bullish on Coin. I think the FUD that it recently had was a buy the dip opportunity. Nothing about this tells me that this is going to see lower. We've been able to hold trend the entire time. This analysis I gave out with a potential dump first played out exactly to my squiggly, to the level, before bouncing again. This was the FUD dump here, the FUD gap down, and then now we're consolidating again. So this is going to be key to watch. We also took some Mara Lottos for this coming week. Mara is ready to break out as well. If Coin is running and everything else is running, you can expect Mara Riot to run as well. We also looked at TTD, which I entered swings for. We actually called out a few tickers during last weekend that all played out. Let me actually backtrack to Corsair. This was the analysis that I provided you guys last weekend, saying that, hey, Corsair is ready. I mean, just look at the multiple bull flags that it broke out of. This is textbook trend for upside. Since last weekend, we have seen about a 2-point move. Yeah, a little over 10% on underlying. Intc was another one that I told you guys to watch for. We've pretty much seen a 10% breakout since I shared it over the weekend. And this is also a very textbook breakout. This is super bullish to me. So we're finally breaking out of this range, and we can definitely see higher on this, but I would favor pullbacks first before buying the dip. Another one that I mentioned was AI. I talked about how AI can possibly see 40 to 50 again, and your best trades are likely going to be leaps on this. That was last weekend. So far, we've seen a move to 33 from 25 at the time of post when I shared it. Huge breakout on Friday. This definitely has a lot more room. Honestly, my first target is going to be around 45. And that can probably take maybe a month or two, depending on how much momentum this has. But again, this was a very textbook breakout. There was nothing bearish about this. And it was just a matter of when this is going to see new highs again. So going back to TTD, I do like TTD a lot as well. It's been able to hold this support area and demand zone. We are getting pretty close to a breakout here as well. I'll be targeting probably 70 as a viable target once we get above this range here. You can look at Tesla as well. Massive breakout on Friday. I gave you guys a 197.44 level to watch out for during the day. And we broke out of that, saw over a 10-point move into the close. But keep in mind, there's a lot of resistance right around this area here on Tesla. So be mindful of that. This may start ranging a bit here before it attempts at new highs again. And by new highs, I mean local highs. I'm not talking about all-time highs. Just FYI. What else did we add to the watch list here that I can go over? Nike's another one. I really do like Nike here. I do believe that this is a buy the dip opportunity. We have been able to hold this 117.20 area right here. You can obviously see how important that level is. This dates back from the gap fill back in September of 2020. So we've been able to flip SNR on this and likely should see some breakouts. And then the other one is Rblx. I love Rblx personally. I used to love trading this ticker all the time. This is also ready to break out. We are currently in a lotto based on the flows that I saw that come in, but I'd like to get into an actual position to play this. It's been trading in the same monthly inside range since April of last year. It's almost time for this to go into its own bull cycle. Longer term targets, I'm looking for this gap fill from February of last year, which puts this around 66. But this definitely has some time. You can take longer dated contracts, even May or June contracts, to play it to the upside of 50.72. This is going to be a first target, 50.72. Once we break out of this inside range, then you can see higher. Now, one of our biggest wins this week was Snow. High conviction on this. I gave you guys Snow over the weekend, and you guys may remember that I used to trade Snow every day. I used to trade Snow like it was SPX. But it's been ranging so long that I stopped looking at it. I used to look at it almost every day to see if there's any opportunities. I stopped looking at it after a while. And over the weekend, I decided to pull up the chart. And when I looked at it and I compared it with my bull thesis for the week, and then I looked at other cloud stocks such as CRM, Crowd, Adobe. And as soon as I pulled up Snow, I just told myself, this is ready to go. So we ended up playing Snow on Friday for over 100% as well. Those contracts ended up going 10 bags. But from the time that I shared this to watch for on Snow, we have seen a 20-point move into the end of the week. And this definitely has a lot more room, in my opinion. I am targeting 187 as a long-term target, probably within the next couple of months. Same thing with Rblx, is the same with Snow. Snow has been trading in the same monthly inside range since May of last year. This is ready to go. And you can see where my confluence comes from with this red box. We've been able to hold this area this entire time without any real momentum to the downside below this. So this is going to enter its own bull market soon, and I believe it already has started. And this should continue to run up into the next ER season. These are my top watches so far: Coin, Snow, TDD, Roblox, and Nike. Snow is probably my highest conviction one, mainly because I pretty much gave the breakout right before it happened this week, and we were able to capitalize on that at least on Friday. So I'll be buying the dip on this, looking at probably May 180 calls, possibly even further out, like a June 200. But I have pretty high conviction in this bull run for Snow. Now, if we focus on SPX, massive breakout that we got this week, can definitely see higher. Like I said, being that it is a short week, I do expect some range bound action and probably a reversion to mean just to cool off from this recent rally. One thing I do want to mention is that SPY has been rallying on relatively low volume. We did get a massive volume breakout on Friday, but if you do look at the recent rally prior to Friday, you'll see that there is a divergence in the volume and price. So this was something I was watching out for on Friday morning, but we ended up having a very directional day anyway. So this is something to keep an eye out. And same thing with SPY as well. We are reaching an area of resistance here. So keep in mind. But overall, I am still bullish. I don't sense any euphoria in the market, to be honest with you guys. Usually when I sense euphoria, it's a very good gauge of the top of the market. But this past week, I haven't really sensed euphoria. And I think people are kind of in disbelief that this rally is happening. So once we get to that point of feeling euphoric, then I'll definitely let you guys know. A lot of that comes from my own intuition. When it happens, I just let you guys know. And every time I've let you guys know in chat, when I say it's euphoric, we end up dumping 50 to 100 points the next week. So keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, I will see you guys next week and hope you guys enjoy this.